Felix, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm so excited on our conversation today. So, yeah,
I'm glad to have you here. How do you think people can start to raise their consciousness?
be in balance with mind, body, and soul. The other questions, what we can ask ourselves is what is exactly consciousness? When I started this whole journey, personal development, I was not so deep into spirituality as I'm now. I started with personal development 6 years ago approximately, and
Same time
before
as me.
that, what do you mean?
Same time as me. I started around 6 years ago
Really,
too.
really
Yeah.
nice. First, we have to understand everything is consciousness. Everything. So this right here, what we make, it's a form of consciousness. We can be fully conscious, and then we have also something in our subconscious. Also, I would say there are different meanings maybe, but opinions. But I would say we are not completely fully conscious here because our subconscious rules our life. So this is the first thing we have to understand. And now back to my story. When I started 6 years ago with this whole journey, before that, I can remember my consciousness was way lower, way lower. I was 19 years old. There I started education as cook in a good restaurant. And then I learned also some valuable things. You can learn so much in everything that you make. And I had to learn this discipline. And I think this discipline has also to do with consciousness, how much consciousness you make something. So, with how much consciousness you make an action, and with how much consciousness make a commitment for yourself for this task you make right now. Doesn't matter if it's your business, doesn't matter if it's fitness. Back then, honestly, I want to learn nothing, or I just had in mind chilling the whole day and just enjoying life. But back then was already a consciousness there, because there are people out here in the world that has a bit lower consciousness, and there are people that has a bit higher consciousness. So it has to do with the energy, with the frequency. We don't think so much about this situation, about this task we make, and we don't question it. And this is the difference when you question everything to raise your consciousness. So this is the first thing, just really question everything to raise your consciousness. When you ask the right questions to yourself, you come forward, and that's what you're doing.
You brought up a point before about discipline relating to consciousness, and something like discipline, whether it's trying to get in the gym at the same time every morning or do this certain task at this time of day, that takes consciousness. A lot of the times we're just operating on our subconscious and programs at the lower level of, our brain just has the same thoughts every day and we just do the same thing every day. We're in our routine and we never even think about it. We just do it. And then we go to bed at night and we're laying up in the ceiling at night. We might think to ourselves, where did the day go? It's like, I don't even remember anything because you weren't actually there. It was just your subconscious running your day in your mind.
Yeah.
In order to develop discipline, it not only needs to become a habit, but you need to consciously try. Because if you don't consciously try to do something that might be a little bit hard to do, your brain is going to take the easy way out and say, no, we don't have to do this. Oh, we'll do it when we feel like it, whatever it is, right? Just being conscious of everything and raising your consciousness. It takes critical thinking and questioning why you believe what you believe. Is it what you truly believe? Is it just something someone said to you one day and you're just like, oh yeah, it's true. And now someone else has the opposite opinion and you say, oh, well, I disagree with them because I believe this. And then they ask you the question, oh, well, why do you believe blah, blah, blah? And they're like, and so people don't even know why they believe what they believe. And that's
Such
where the
an important
consciousness
point.
has been, right. The consciousness has been thrown out the window, not voluntarily, but we become a victim to our subconscious sometimes. We're not aware of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And this is very important Because if you have maybe some bad experiences in the back parts of your mind that run your life, well, your life is going to go to shit without you even knowing it. And then your life is going to be bad. And you're going to be like, oh, why is my life bad? And then, you have to analyze what happened in the past, your childhood, all these different things. And I was having a conversation with someone I met the other day, and we were talking about how it seems as though so many people now lack critical thinking skills. And this isn't a diss to say, so many people are stupid and they're idiots and they can't think. It's not to say that. It's to say that a lot of people can't critically think, and it's a problem. It's a problem because when
It's a
you
big
don't critically
problem.
think and you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing or what is occurring in your life and why, you're a slave to not only the unconscious parts of your mind, but
Mm.
the outer reality, and you let everything
Yeah,
else dictate life for you and you alleviate control, right? You
yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah.
no, it's John's fault that this happened to me. It's my parents' fault. It's this and that. You
Mm,
you
mm.
you you alleviate the responsibility. You say it's not my fault. And as I always like to say, sometimes events happen in our lives. People do things that isn't our fault, right? It's not our fault. We didn't cause it to happen, but it is still our responsibility to deal with it, right? You can't, if a bad thing happens to you, a horrible thing happens to you, you can't just alleviate the responsibility, because then you're never going to overcome it. You're going to live the rest of your life a victim and saying, oh, yeah, everything's out of my control. And, some people are more privileged than others, and some people have certain opportunities that other people don't. But it's
Yeah.
understanding that where you are now, and everybody has some sort of opportunity, and you need to look for that, what it is in your situation. You need to grab onto it. You need to learn. You need to learn the lessons, and you need to do what you need to do. So oftentimes we neglect our problems, and going back to what I said before, we don't understand why we do the things we do. And if you don't understand yourself, well, you can't really understand anyone else or the world either.
Some people say also to that NPC, non-player character, right? There, Bradley is laughing. When you just look out in the world and just look out with consciousness and look out what's going on in the world and just question everything, your beliefs, just be here with fully attentiveness. I think it's really important that we just come out, or at least that we give every day our best to come out from that NPC character, that we just grow, because it is nature. It's just the law from the universe. When you look outside, everything is growing. Everything, the trees, the plants, the animals. So everything is growing. But then some people ask me, yeah, Felix, but why I should work so hard, or maybe not hard? That's also other learning. This happens when you raise your consciousness, that you attract everything and that you make everything with ease and abundance, and that you come in that higher frequencies. We can talk later about the frequencies. But when you stop with growing, something in you is dying. So we can say you die before you really die. Just come out of this non-player character, because when we see it like that life is a game, or there are really, really much theories with the Matrix and so on and so forth, right? But
Right. Some people say the Matrix isn't actually science fiction. It's actually reality. The concepts in it, it's eye-opening if you can see it. I think depending on your consciousness level, you could watch The Matrix and just say, oh, yeah, that was a good movie, and then forget about it. When I watch The Matrix, I'm like analyzing every part of it. I'm like, wait, this relates to reality.
when I was not that high in consciousness, then I looked a movie 8 years ago with completely other eyes as now.
Dying before you're actually dead, and that is
Yeah.
when you stop learning. The way I like to phrase it is just the day you stop learning is just, it's the death of your soul. And it's when people
Yeah.
start to become complacent in their lives, it's when people start to become miserable. Because if you're just going throughout life with the same knowledge that you had 20 years ago and you never learn anything, well, how can you grow? If you're not growing, you're dying, or at least you're staying the same and in a way slowly shooting yourself in the foot. But anyway, I make it a point in my life to learn new stuff every day. Not only, does it help my clients in coaching and help me talk about new concepts in my YouTube videos and my podcasts, but just it expands my consciousness. When you learn new things, your consciousness expands. And then also, in terms of the NPC point, I thought that was really funny that you brought that up. But in a lot of ways, it's true, because a lot of people are being run by the unconscious parts of their mind, and they're not, like we said before, people aren't aware of what they're doing.
Exactly.
And that's why I realized you can let's say you meet 100 people, like 50 or 60 of them might seem like they're the exact same person in a different body. When I went to college, a university in Florida for one semester, met a bunch of people, and
Florida.
I met some really cool people and made some great connections, right? Met some very deep thinkers, religious individuals, spiritual individuals, and great, right? But I also met a ton of people who seemed like they were just the same person in a different body. This is the general crowd that parties 4 times a week. They go do their studies, but they're not really aware of why they're doing their studies. They're just kind of there doing their thing because maybe their parents told them to go to school. They're like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then they just distract themselves because they don't enjoy the work with partying. So they get blackout drunk 4 times a week. Anyway, I met a lot of people like that. And this goes along with the NPC type build. When you lack the consciousness, you seem to be a non-playable character. For anybody who doesn't even know what we're talking about, a non-playable character is in a video game where, you're the character, you're controlling the character. Then there's like a character you come across and you click A on your controller or something, and they say like 2 sentences, and then you could like run into them and punch them or something, and they just won't react. They'll just and this is like most people in life. A conversation like this, we're about 20 minutes into this conversation. The people that are still watching right now, your consciousness has to be at a certain level to be able to even just want to listen to what we're saying. Because
Good point.
if you're not a very conscious being and you clicked on this video, you would have left a minute in because you'd be like, these guys are stupid. What are they even talking about? And why are they talking about this? I don't need to learn about this, right?
Yeah.
And so, that's okay. Nothing against people who, wouldn't want to watch this or don't want to learn about these concepts.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, when you don't raise your consciousness, when you don't try to become aware of your life and where it's heading and why it's heading that way, you're unconsciously inviting misery into your life down the line because you're just distracting yourself from reality and consciousness. Because at the end of the day, consciousness is such a gift. We don't know for sure how conscious other, animals and stuff are, right? But we can generally say we are probably the most conscious species that we know of. And so many of us don't use that gift. We continue to go throughout our days not aware, not trying to be aware. We work and we do these things, and we just create a cycle for ourselves that we don't really enjoy. But when you take a step outside of all this and realize that you're not your work and you're not what you're doing and you're separate from all of this, you take a deep breath, you look around you, and this awareness, this moment right now, this is literally the only thing that exists and will ever exist. Everything you're thinking about that happened in the past and everything that you're worried and anxious about that's going to happen in the future, none of it's real. Once you're worried about that thing that's going to happen in a week, and once it's here now, in this exact moment, then it will be real. But as of right now, it is complete fiction.
The only thing that is real is just here and now. And when we raise our consciousness, then every day is a good day because we are enjoying life so much. And this is what life is supposed to be. Make fun and just enjoying the time we have right now here on earth. Maybe it's also not a gift, maybe it's just the illusion and nothing is real and we are not real. There are so much concepts out there, right? At least we can do the best we can with that consciousness we have. This is also a quote from Einstein, for example. Every humans just make that decision based on their consciousness they have. Or I also don't think that that any human is evil in quotes. It's just a bit more negative and maybe also a bit lower in the vibration. It is so simple, but it's also really complex. And this brings me then to polarity. I teach so often that when we accept the negative, when we accept the situation in what we are in, when we accept it, when we embrace it, and so nice that you are here. Cool that I can learn something from you, right? And I had also the last time, 23, this year, 2023, crazy, so much challenging, but I brought myself also in some situations what I don't want to be in. So we are the creator of our life. We are not an NPC. Give your best already to come out from that non-player character. Right?
Yeah. I mean, the reality is of course, nobody's actually an NPC, right? It's when you lack awareness, you start to gain some of those traits because you're just not aware of what you're doing. But
Yeah.
the reality is also every single person on this planet can become can become more conscious and aware. Will everybody? No, I don't think so. But it's possible for everybody, right? No matter what situations you've been through and where your
Everything
life
is
is at.
possible.
Right, exactly. All these concepts, it also leads into taking things too seriously and putting too much pressure on yourself because it's oftentimes you can
Yeah.
maybe not be in a great place in life and you're pressuring yourself, oh, I need to get out of this, I need to get out of this by tomorrow, I need everything to be fine tomorrow morning when I wake up. And of course, most times that's not the reality of the situation and what's going to happen, unfortunately. But you can take some time and do some work, and over the next few weeks, next few months, next year, your life will become better and it'll be time and work well spent. And that's what it's about. Everybody in any religion or philosophy, everybody will say patience, be patient, be patient, be patient, because you have to be. The beautiful thing about life is we can go to bed and we can wake up in the morning and who knows what's going to happen the next day, right? Life is a beautiful thing where something random, something amazing could just absolutely happen tomorrow that you didn't expect, right? And so everything's great like that. But also, in terms of when your life is overall negative, when you wake up the next morning, you're probably not, a flip probably isn't going to switch and it's going to be like, okay, well, everything's better now. You have to do work to raise your consciousness and become a more positive person. The beautiful thing about it is that it works and it can work for anyone, no matter what struggles you're dealing with, whether you've dealt with it for the last 5 years, you can overcome it. I'm a perfect example from this. I went from completely depressed, socially anxious, hating
Mm.
life to where I am now, the complete opposite of it. And the only reason I say that is not to brag, it's to show you that it is completely possible. I made that transformation, and anybody who's watching this can as well.
Yeah, and this is so beautiful to see. You are a part, and everything, everyone out there is a part from this whole collective, and we can raise together the collective in what we are doing. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's depend on mind, body, and soul. It's so important what we consume each day. If we consume now a podcast like that, a YouTube video like that, or if we just, when we come at home from a stressful day, it doesn't matter now if you are on an employment shop that you don't like, or if you make something you like, or whatever. But when you come then every day at home and just look Netflix whole evening and just wish your life would be better, there's no way that your life gets better. So you have to put in the work. But for sure, as you said, also don't make yourself too much pressure. Enjoy the way, enjoy this what we have here. Just enjoy it so much. Just train it every day and look what you can make every day to become a better character, a better you. It's really important that you train your mindset so that you look every day what you consume. And this I realized also in the last years when I was younger and I made the education as cook, right? And in my school times, and just for inspiration now, also as you said, Bradley, it's not to get pity, so it's just to inspire someone. So earlier, back then in my past in the school, I was getting bullied. So my dad was dying when I was 14 years old on Christmas, and there was going so much things on, and I don't talked about my life so much because I was also just in the conditions I was. And by the way, my mom made so much for me, but she was also just on a consciousness level, right? On a lower consciousness level because of this system that conditions us. So not everything is bad in the system, but we have a lot of problems in the system, and we have to look on that with consciousness. With consciousness. When we start to look on everything with consciousness, questioning everything, then our life can get better, right? My mom don't had this higher consciousness to raise me like that, and she was alone. My dad was not there for me, so I had also last time a call with someone about masculinity. There comes then also on my channel soon a podcast episode about that stuff. And so masculinity is important, but it can be also too much. So as I said also in the beginning, balance with everything, balance with mind, body, and soul. But back then, I just was in such low consciousness, low frequency, because I was young. I don't understood everything what's going on. And my dad was getting separated with my mom when I was 3 years old, and he was alcoholic. Especially when we are young, we get conditioned with everything. Our whole belief system gets formed. So, and we just learn so much from our parents, just from our environment. And there starts already the consume, what we consume each day. And this shapes our reality. Back then, my mom had an also different boyfriends. So, and by the way, when you listener, or also you, Bradley, when you had a difficult past, it don't has to be your future. Your dream future is just one decision away. So with living in the here and the now, and just look what you can improve on yourself, and then you can also look that you change your environment. So because your environment is powerful, and I think this has also to do with consume, not only what you consume all day, what kind of music, what kind of medias, also mainstream medias. Shit, so has said something about the mainstream medias. But you know, it's yeah. So we have to talk honestly here, and you have to be also honest with yourself. So much times we talk to ourselves so shitty and so not honestly, and make ourselves down with limited belief systems, but we can change it when we change our environment and when we change what we consume. And this is the mind part.
What you consume in large part creates your outer reality and your just overall experience throughout your day and your life. If you wake up, the first thing you do is turn on the news and watch oh, this person got killed and this horrible thing is happening. That's what you're priming your day for. Oh, the world just sucks. And now you go into work today or you do whatever you have to do. Your vibration gets lowered and you come from this place of fear of, oh, I fear this is going to happen to me today. And I fear the world is never going to become a better place. And you're never operating from a positive state, and you're never able to raise your consciousness, and you're never able to make positive changes in your life because all you see is negative, all you consume is negative. So you change what you consume, and then your output changes and your input, right? Your internal processes change as well. But you start to consume more informational videos and podcasts, and just reading books and learning new information. This raises your consciousness and allows you to feel better. And then in terms of you feeling better, then when you go out into the world today, then your day is going to be better because you're bringing that energy with you. Everything is energy. Everything is always energy. That's essentially all really are. I mean, yeah, we have physical bodies, but everyone's just vibrating at a certain frequency. That's why I can see you right now. And
but
all
we
that
are
stuff.
also energy. We are also energy.
You made the point about your environment and how strongly it affects you. Our parents have a huge effect on us, especially when we're younger, and just throughout our entire lives, even when we are older. Our environment is everything. Your relationship partner, your friends, the people where you work, your business partners, whatever it is, every single person that you come in contact with affects you in a positive or a negative way. And depending on who you spend the most of your time around, that's really going to affect your consciousness and your experiences. For example, if you hang out with 10 friends and all of them smoke cigarettes and you've never smoked a cigarette in your life, and you confidently say, I will never smoke a cigarette in my entire life, it's absolutely awful for me. You spend enough time with those 10 people, you're going to start doing it, right? It's only natural. And
It's only a matter
the
of
point
time.
of that is, right,
It's
only a
only a
matter of
matter of
time.
time.
Apply that to every other area of just an energy level. You spend most of your time around negative people, you're going to become more negative too. You spend around more positive people, you're going to become more positive. Within the last year of me meeting so many incredible individuals, there's so many different types of people in this world. And the beautiful thing is, a lot of the time, we get to choose who we spend our time with. We might be subconsciously sucked into certain people more than others. Like, for example, you might not have a friend group that is most beneficial to you, but on Saturday night, you don't quite have your other friend or two that, is a more positive person. Maybe they're busy, and these people who might not be the best for you, they ask you to go out, whatever. You're like, I'm not doing anything, so let me go. And then if you're a little bit conscious, you notice how everyone's always saying negative stuff, and no one's talking about anything that's of value, and nobody's helping each other, and everyone's just kind of using each other to have fun. You might get sucked into that. My point is, of you want to still go do that because you don't have anyone else. You don't want to be lonely.
Yeah.
But I've realized sometimes it's better to be alone. I mean, there
Yeah.
was an
You are
experience.
never lonely when you raise in your consciousness. Sorry that I interrupt you, but this is really important. You are never lonely when you are alone, when you raise your consciousness, because you are always connected to the divine and to the energy.
Like you said, there's a difference between being alone and feeling lonely. And
Yeah,
feeling lonely is a normal human experience. And so if you're, not spiritual at all, then what you just said, Felix, what we're talking about wouldn't make too much sense, but that's okay. You can even just go about it in the sense of, hey, I'm going to spend time with myself tonight. This is going to be, a self-care night, whatever. I'm just going to do things for myself. I'm going to enjoy my
yeah,
time by myself. I had an experience a few weeks ago where I was out with a few people, and it was quite a few hours that I spent time with them, and I was observing. People were talking about a bunch of negative stuff, making negative comments, and I
yeah,
could just feel the unnecessary energy that was there. And then at the end of the night,
yeah,
I got in my car to drive home, and I looked up and I said, I feel like I didn't even really enjoy myself. Like I would have preferred to just stay home and be by myself and just do some work or play video games by myself. And
yeah,
that goes to show the people you surround yourself and you're spending your time with is literally everything. They make you feel good or they make you feel bad or they make you feel in the middle and just bleh, right? And so my point is, when you meet those people that raise your spirit, you have great conversations, you just love being around them, spend time with those people.
exactly. But as we know, nothing is black and white, right? You have to make good decisions when you want to raise in your consciousness. Be also aware with who you spend your time with now. But the other thing, what I see also right now in this world here, is that we get more and more separated from each other. And there I had also earlier a really good conversation with my girlfriend. Um, it's always a bit difficult to talk about this system and how much is negative in quotes. So, and then we had the conversation about also separation, in which direction the world goes. So I see also definitely really much positive things, but also really much negative things. So then we just have to differentiate from with that people I really don't want to share my time with anymore. But for this decision, we have to become more conscious and honest to ourselves. And sometimes it's just hard. So a loss is hard when a person dies, or also a loss from your relationship, for example. But for sure, definitely be aware with who you spend your most time with. You are the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with.
And when you were talking about news sources and the system and stuff, I was talking to someone the other day, and we were
Mm,
talking about the whole political stuff, the system, and the news. And I said, whether you're on the left side, the right side, whatever you believe, you have to be a complete idiot if you think that these news sources are putting out the news just to keep you informed. Every single time, every word that they choose to put out and the way they phrase it, it's an agenda. The left side has an agenda and the right side has an agenda. Everybody has an agenda. You have to think, okay, you can listen to certain sources, whatever you believe, but you have
Yeah.
to take it with a grain of salt. You have to listen to it and take it as it's okay. Why did they phrase it this way? Why are they making these people seem like they're bad? Are they actually bad? And you do your own thinking. And this all goes back to the critical thinking skills. So many of us take in information without questioning it just because a source or someone that we think knows more than us said it, so that we just completely take it as true. But this is not a good habit because that's how people start to develop beliefs that aren't helpful to themselves or other people. And then also going back to what we said before about how you start to develop beliefs that you don't even know why you believe it. You just, yeah, I believe this, and then someone asks you, oh, why do you believe that? I don't know. I mean, blah 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 told me it. It's like, okay, well, so, and it's just like
Yeah.
it seems like there's no critical thinking skills, and of course, it's a huge issue. You also mentioned before when we were talking about the non-playable characters and just you
Yeah.
being a character as a human being. If you like video games, you'll like this analogy, or even if you don't like video games, treat your life like a video game, right? In your video game, you have different stat points. Hey, this area is good. You need to level up in this area. That's what you have to do in life. You have all these different stats. All right, my mindset is on this level. My productivity is on this level. Blah 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 blah. My relationships are at this level, and so you analyze these different levels in your life. All right, what am I good at? What do I need to work on? And you work on it, right? And you level up your stats in real life. All right, my mindset's down here. Well, let's work on making it up here. And I'm leveling up, right? Because
Right.
life is a video game. You're the character. You're the main character in your movie, your video game, whatever.
Right.
You have the power to level up your stats and make your charisma better and gain better social skills to talk to people and convey your message better
Yeah.
and improve your relationships and improve your mental state. All this different stuff you have the power to do. You just have to understand you have the power to do it instead of believing that you don't, because we do.
So the investment in yourself is the most investment you can ever make. When the humanity just makes forward like that with the unconscious thinking and with just consuming whole day directly in the morning radio, so and then in the radio is 95, at least 95% negativity, negative messages, and they just want you to consume it. As you said, it's their agenda, and we have to question it. It's psychology, right? You get the attention from the people when you make fear. It's just logical. And then you have to use logical thinking to raise in our consciousness, because to raise in our consciousness means also, yes, to look on the negative things in your life, in your personal life, and also what's going on in the world, because then you understand also more, you become smarter, you become healthier, you just feel better. But you have to be also careful with all this, in quotes, conspiracy theories and what's going on in the world. As I said in the beginning, with the radio, when you directly listen to the radio in the morning, you become that what you consume. When you consume every day 90% negative things, yeah, to what kind of human you evolved and to what kind of soul you evolve, right? And right now in the time, it's so important that we raise spiritually, because this is that what happens right now in the world. When you hear it already, maybe from the 7 chakras, the humans have chakras, and this have to do with our soul, right? It also have to do with our energy. You can feel it when you talk with a person, when you talk with the other human. You can feel it, what kind of energy this human have right now, right? And then you can also feel it a bit if he is in a higher consciousness or a bit in the lower consciousness, right? We talk now much about mindset and so and what we can make, but it has to do really much with our feelings. When we want to raise our consciousness, we have to understand our emotions. Then we have to feel these emotions. Then we have to accept these emotions, as I said in the beginning. So nice that you are here, because we can learn something from it. And these feelings have a certain frequency, a certain energy. When you just listen directly in the morning to the radio, it don't helps you to evolve as soul. So, and also it don't helps you to heal your traumas, to deal with your sickness, like me with my Tourette syndrome and ADHD or whatever, or some other people with something else. No, it don't help. But without the negative, no positive. Without the negative, we wouldn't exist. We just have to look. We just have to observe it, but not become it. Just observe it. Okay, this is here, and these solutions we can make. Ask the right questions. So, and what I see right now in the world is, with the technical stuff and with Neuralink, for example, or with something else like that, that you get a chip in your brain, right?
Yeah.
Look to China, social credit system. When you say something about the system, when you just want improve the system, when you just want help the collective, and you say something that is against someone who sits up there, that has the control over that chip, for example, in your brain. So you know where I want to go with that. Don't believe everything that they tell you in the mainstream media. So also that I tell you, just observe it and make your own view about it, right? So, and make your own experiences. But really important, don't believe everything what they tell you in the mainstream media. When you just look outside, it goes everything more and more to controlling the people, right? Because they won't hold you small, they won't hold you in the lower frequencies, in the lower energy. And you can feel it also when you go outside right now. We just have to look careful in what direction we evolve as humanity and as collective. We have to evolve spiritually, and that's also what is happening now, what I see, that we're shifting into another reality, and I still can feel it. And it's all about feelings, it's all about raising your energy. So because we are shifting from a three-dimensional in a 5D world, just do what you love and listen more on your heart, and you can improve yourself always. So there's never ending. You can understand yourself more and more and grow in different areas in your life. And when I started my personal journey, right, back then, when I started there, so my consciousness was lower and I made lower decisions. And then I focused me also more on, oh cool, in this network marketing I can earn so much money, and so, and it's a cool concept, and yeah, sure, it also helps people, but I can earn so much money, and so, but this is lower frequency thinking, right? And then with the time, when I was coming also deeper into spirituality with awareness, important is we are all spiritual beings that make human experiences. Some are more evolved, some are less evolved. So, and then on the way, you just find more to your heart. And this is so important in the world right now, that we listen much more on our heart and just help the collective. So in every possible way that we can, right? And just help to heal the world, because the world is sick. Just want help humanity to raise in their consciousness, right? And getting healthier, most important, also getting healthier in mind, body, and soul. Go out, go in the gym. When you don't want to go in the gym, go out walking, go out making yoga, go out and coming under people maybe, and meet new people, for example, in a yoga class. And then there are like-minded individuals. Maybe there are a person who gets your best friend, right? So you never know but just make something, anything. So, but don't make yourself too much pressure, because this I made myself also in the last time, too much pressure. I wanted make Instagram, TikTok, this. Oh, and this would be also really nice. Bam, bam, bam. And I have so big vision. And ooh, damn, I won't make everything, but it don't work. Just focus on one thing, right? Just focus on one thing, and then comes the next thing. Just step by step, and don't make yourself too much pressure. With that, you train also your self-love and your self-confidence. I'm also a really good example with that, because earlier in the past, when I was getting bullied, so because of my Tourette syndrome, I don't want to stand in front from the class and just stand. It just was so low in my self-confidence, and so. But as you see now, I'm just here with Bradley making an interview episode, and I don't care at all. Also in a positive sense, I mean, for sure. Not that I don't care about you guys, about Bradley, about the collective. I care really much, but I don't care about if someone likes me now or not, or if he thinks, why he makes so strange. And so, yeah, okay, that's my Tourette that I have. Maybe someone it goes away through the healing process, but you can achieve everything you can imagine. So Bradley, you make really nice work. Stay on it. You make a really good thing. You give your impact to raise the consciousness from the collective. So, and I'm also really thankful for that. And I want to create content and help people to just understand themselves better, get a better, healthier version of yourself. With this aspect, spirituality, we shifting into other dimension right now.
Link your socials down in the description for everyone to check out, and everyone keep an eye out for my interview on Felix's podcast, which is going to be recorded and released soon. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, much love, and here's a virtual hug for you. See ya.
Hug everyone. All right, peace out, guys.
Bye. Peace.